Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, a lot of you guessed exactly where I was very quickly in yesterday's video. So a bunch of you got 500 Sujano points. Feel free to spend them on, well, I don't know what. I don't even know what they're good for. But yes, I was in Brickell Park, Brickell Pier, the Brickell area in Miami. I would have also accepted Vice City, and some people guessed that also right off the bat. In fact, the Miami Heat play right behind me right there in that building. So the first thing on the docket here, we're talking about the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. And it turns out the Nintendo Switch is still selling very well. In fact, they've just claimed that they've sold over 150 million units. And that puts it solidly in third place overall for best-selling console of all time. Ahead of that is the Nintendo DS with, I think, 154 million units. And then the PS2 with over 160. So it seems very feasible that the Nintendo Switch will surpass the PS2 as the best-selling console of all time. Additionally here, if you've already got a Switch and you were hesitant on whether or not you're going to pick up a Switch 2 and you wanted to wait a little bit, it appears that Nintendo will be still supporting the Switch provided people are still interested in it. And although Nintendo has a spotty record of supporting older consoles, but at the same time successful ones like the Wii were supported for quite a while. The Wii was still getting games up to 2020. Now I don't know about you, but I've got no intentions to immediately pick up a Switch 2. I like to wait a little bit just to make sure that the hardware is okay and don't want to be an early adopter and possibly face some of the initial issues that happen. Who knows here, some people are very excited about picking it up right out of the gate, and it does appear that Nintendo is going to try to do something regarding the scalping situation. They said they've learned from the past and they're going to put actions or measures in place to try to prevent scalping. So we'll have to see what those are, if those are successful or not, and if they actually prevent scalpers. I've got a hunch they're probably not going to, but who knows here. Now before I get to the next segment, I've been looking around. There aren't a whole lot of fluffs here in Miami, and I guess this doesn't really count. It's not fluffy, so unfortunately I don't have fluffs for you in this video. Next up, we're talking about PlayStation 2 emulation with PCSX2. And if you're on Linux, this is very good news for the future of PCSX2 and Linux. It appears PCSX2 will be fully compatible with Wayland very shortly. So this message is right from the PCSX2 team. A few of the project members are looking at Qt 6.9 as a way to finally get Wayland working with PCSX2 on Linux. We're going to keep testing, but we haven't found any problems so far. Qt 6.9's final release is on March 18th. We hope to see Wayland support in the coming months. And taking a look at the comments here to that reply, this seems to be a very welcome update. So this person says, "Yay Wayland, I personally love Wayland and do hope that many other projects try to get Wayland. This is very good news." And the PCSX2 team says, "Us too. We've been waiting to get Wayland fixed for a long time now and will be sincerely happy to finally get rid of the I want a broken Wayland UI variable." I don't know if you can see that. That's definitely not a fluff. I don't want to call it a slime, but it's a little lizard. I don't know if you guys saw that very well. Next up, we're talking about a rumor that has gained quite a bit of steam online. A lot of people are talking about it. And it turns out the rumor may not be true. So the rumor out there that's being reported by a whole bunch of different areas is that Valve is working on an AMD RDNA 4 upcoming console, which may not be true according to Gaming on Linux. Now, Gaming on Linux does point out that Valve may be working on a future console. It's just that this specific rumor and the origins of this specific rumor are 100% false. It turns out that Valve is just making some minor updates here, and really this is a nothing burger. Now, based on all of the information out there from Valve and based on what they've said, I'm on Gaming on Linux's side here. I don't believe that Valve is currently working on a console that will have AMD RDNA 4 in it. Not yet, at least. I mean, Valve has said the Steam Deck 2 is a ways off because the hardware just isn't there yet. And they're not looking at basically like saturating the market and releasing a new generation every single year. They're having the Steam Deck supported for a while and then coming out with the Steam Deck 2 later on. But you know what? Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong here and maybe they are working on something and maybe it's going to release and maybe it's going to compete against the PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. I don't believe it, but at the same time, who the heck knows? If you know, if you think you know, let me know in the comments below. Next up here, I'm on the balcony again, hoping that things are going to be okay in terms of audio quality. I really don't know this time, but in yesterday's video, it seemed like it was okay. Anyways, next up, we're talking about CachyOS, and CachyOS just got a brand new update for February. Now, for those who may not be familiar with CachyOS, it's a Linux distribution. It stands for Subscribe to Mr. Sujano, and it's designed to deliver lightning-fast speeds and stability, ensuring a smooth, enjoyable computing experience every time you use it. Whether you're a seasoned Linux user or just starting out, CachyOS is the ideal choice for those looking for a powerful, customizable, and blazingly fast operating system. Now, one of the big new updates here for this release is in regards to the kernel. They say propeller optimization is now applied to the default Linux CachyOS kernel for all available architectures. In combination with Auto FDO, this can improve performance by around 10% depending on the workload. On top of that, for NVIDIA GPUs, they've added support for the Blackwell architecture. And they've also got a bunch of fixes here and optimizations, for example, disabling the screensaver while running games, and I think that's probably a welcome update. CachyOS is 100% free, it's open source, it's based on Arch Linux, and like everything we talk about, link will be in the description below right at the bottom. Next up, we're talking about the Stop Killing Games initiative, and if I'm understanding things correctly, it appears that the Stop Killing Games initiative just took a massive blow. From my understanding, there's a big difference between 10,000 signatures and 100,000 signatures. At 100,000 signatures, the government has to debate the petition in a larger setting. And at 10,000 signatures, they just have to take a look at it. Well, the petition got over 10,000 signatures, not over 100,000, but over 10,000. And the government took a look at it, and based on their response to the petition, it seems like they're not going to do anything about it. If you are curious about this one, I'm not going to read the entire response here, but Gaming on Linux has you covered, and if I'm not mistaken, Gaming on Linux is also based in the UK. Anyways, it's not a really good look for the UK government, and I would say it's not a really good look either for the whole petition. Hopefully things continue, hopefully more people sign this thing, and hopefully the government, in my opinion, takes a look at things in a serious fashion. And last up here, we're talking about Doom. I'm doing my best to keep my face illuminated here, let me know how it's going. Anyways, Doom appears to be running now on an Apple Lightning to HDMI dongle. It never ceases to amaze me what people can get Doom running on, and to me this is a pretty impressive feat, and one of the more impressive results. If you are curious about this, I'll drop a link to the video in the description below, and I do recommend checking it out. I think this is really impressive. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. I wanted to say there was a fluff here, but unfortunately there wasn't. We talked about a whole bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely anything we talked about in the comments below. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.